Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. We take on Chicago as well as Sonoma here today. Hope you're all having a great day as we continue this final season of the career mode and really now in the final half of this season here as we continue to close in now on really what's my favorite part of the schedule. I look forward to this part where we have back-to-back road courses, Chicago Street Course to kick things off, and of course, like I said already, Sonoma Raceway coming up shortly after, and we still have not won a NASCAR Cup Series race on a road course, so that is one of those goals that we have to finish off this career mode is win on a road course. Now we still have 4 more opportunities. We got today with 2 of them, then we got Watkins Glen in another couple of episodes, and then as well finally we have the Charlotte Roval inside of the chase. But as we come through into qualifying here in Chicago, my first lap actually felt like my best lap. I was really happy with this lap that I put together overall. However, we know as things have of course progressed over time, road courses, they're quite difficult to qualify on in terms of just being competitive against the AI. And as we would round the final turn down the front straightaway to the start finish line, we're going to set a 1:30.327 here, which would put us P9 in Group 2 as SVG went to the top of the board as you see the rest of the Group 2 qualifying effort. However, when you're P9 in Group 2 means you're going to end up about the middle of the grid overall as SVG and Byron sweep the front row as we would end up in 19th place here from qualifying. So some work to do, but we typically go forward on these road courses after qualifying, so I wasn't overly concerned here going into Sunday afternoon for the race. So as we got the engines ready to fire on Sunday, now a beautiful sunny day as it always is in NASCAR 25. I am looking forward to actually having some cloud cover in NASCAR 26 and whatnot. That is going to be very nice as the jets fly over the city of Chicago. And we are ready to go racing in the Boost Energy orange, white, and black colors here on this number 15 Chevrolet Camaro, lined up just behind the 22 of Joey Logano, and it's going to be racing here from Chicago Street Course for, well, what's going to be the final time maybe ever in a career mode of mine, because we know Chicago will no longer be on the schedule in 26 and 27, so who knows, we might never come here again. This could be the finale of Chicago now as we line up just behind the number 8 of Kyle Busch. We're 3 wide around the outside here of Joey Logano. Beating and banging already now, as that's what this street course presents, is a lot of physicality, a lot of beating and banging, and that's what I love about this track so much, and I'm going to miss it going into the future when we won't be racing here anymore in NASCAR 26 and already confirmed. NASCAR 27, big stack up on our nose, already getting into the back of the Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang of Joey Logano as we'll head down the short chute towards that 90-degree left-hander running P19, exactly where we qualified. SVG loses the top spot on this opening lap here to William Byron's number 24 as we'll settle in behind the 22. Actually overdrove the corner just a little bit. Big slide on the exit right there. But we know the AI right here, this is where it's going to be an opportunity for me because they really check up and we can kind of sneak around the outside. And there we go. We passed the 22. We passed the 60 of Ryan Preece and right up to the back here of Kyle Busch as we continue on now up into P17 on this opening lap from the Chicago Street Course through the Xfinity Mobile section now and now into the Arby's branded area. We'll be right on the back of the number 8 where we'll be making moves into this corner a lot today, but wasn't quite close enough there and didn't quite have the confidence yet either now. But Kyle Busch would actually pass the number 87 and start moving his way forward here now come lap 2 of this race as we are just trying to make up some ground early on and, you know, set ourselves up to the best of our abilities for stage 2. And obviously we know again we're giving up stage points here as we're going to go for that move here in the penultimate corner, clear of the number 87 and up into P16. We continue to just kind of grind it out here. And over these next few laps, really just trying to, of course, focus in on running down this number 8 of Kyle Busch and being able to pass him, break into that top 15. If we can come out of stage 1 in the top 15 after starting 19th, I would consider that a pretty good success. And we come to 2 to go in the stage and now in a position to make this move on KB. Real close to some contact. We dive it off deep into the penultimate corner and we clear the number 8. You really got to just kind of forcefully take that position. You got to send it in there and you basically got to say, I'm taking in this, if you don't lift, it's not going to end well for either of us now. But to the final lap of the stage at this point now, William Byron's led every lap so far, and you saw the 48 right there kind of stack up on the exit of the corner. That's going to allow us to get relatively close, and maybe just close enough to do this right here. Line him up for a move, a dive up the inside into the penultimate turn, and that's maybe another spot this time. The 48's not going to give that one up so easy, though. A little bit of beating and banging. We know 10th place crosses the line. It's a moment of caution, so really dive it in deep to try and clear this 48. We do. 10th place will cross the line. We'll get 14th here in stage 1, so we gained 5 spots, which was a very productive way to race here in this first and opening stage. Not points, but a good start now, as we will pit for 4 tires as well as fuel, and also need a little bit of a repair. However, you see we lose 4 spots. Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoie, and one other driver stayed on the racetrack. Now, one thing we're doing differently here in Chicago is we're doing 3x fuel and wear, and that's what's caused this differing strategy. And the reason we're doing that is because the laps in Stage 3 of Chicago are really awkward on ×4 wear and tire rate and fuel, because it will basically have it where some drivers are going to be pitting with 2 laps to go, 1 lap to go, and then other drivers can make it to the end, and we don't want that weird confusion. So I'm put it on 3x, so there won't be any green flag pit stops here in Chicago. There will be in Sonoma, but we will see exactly what we're seeing now, some split strategy. And how about Bubba Wallace now to the lead, which is going to really make things interesting, because I think it's going to really stack things up here with some of those guys that are up front now, like a Corey LaJoie and the number 01 Rick Ware Racing Ford. He's really going to be backing up the pace, which is going to be an opportunity for us. But we're down in 18th right now, and we're going to have an opportunity to lunge up the inside of the 12, the 1, the 16 of Allmendinger as well, as we're going to get really loose though on the exit of the corner, and into the wall we go, and we've completely thrown already pretty well, I feel like, a good chunk of any chance we had to be successful here in stage 2, but we're immediately going to just go around the outside and get at least back to pretty well where we were. So it's just as fast as I say that, we're back in it. Around goes the number 16 Cold Lake Chevrolet Allmendinger. I had to use the wall just to get around that one, and we stay green, no caution, as we're right to the back of the 12 of Blaney, and all the chaos is kicking off here in stage 2. Strategies, physicality, as Blaney shuts the door, lays a bit of quarter panel on my front nose right there, and we would kind of settle down for a few moments until a late lunge, even on Chastain, as well, as they break so early right there. And I feel like that's just mainly because of these stack ups that we're kind of seeing right now with some of these slower cars, specifically the 01, and Austin Dillon's the other one that did stay out, by the way, is actually get into the wall right there, overshooting the corner. Didn't really damage the car, but now we're side by side in through the sweeper, and it didn't quite work out until this moment right here. A huge lunge up the inside of the 1, bit of a beating and banging moment there with the Valvoline number 5 of Kyle Larson, as the physicality is at an all-time high right now here from Chicago, as we're now on lap 3 of 6, and now for a lunge up the inside of the 5, trying to catch him off guard as he's racing with Ty Gibbs. We'll clear the 5 actually, to my surprise, and we're up into P14 right now, but you can see this mess right here. LaJoie and Austin Dillon continue to back everybody up, and I've got another moment of, just completely choking, and I mean, no one to blame other than myself, just getting way too aggressive right there on the throttle, and just completely through. And this is quickly turning into a bit of a frustrating race for myself here, my final appearance at Chicago. But a lap later here on lap 4 of the stage, we are at least back with the 1 and with the 5 of Larson as well, still slipping and sliding around. I am contemplating a wedge adjustment up for stage 3, because we are pretty loose, as you've been able to obviously see. Like I said, though, a lot of that's been just my responsibility of a little bit too aggressive on the throttle here now as we go for this move alongside Chastain, and now he's going to get back in front of me, so I said, okay, I'll cross over, make a lunge up the inside here, and do the heavy braking zone, super tight, going a bit of contact with the 54, but I mean, look at everybody's just kind of leaning on each other right now, as we're still wheel to wheel with Gibbs through the long sweeping left-hander. We clear him up into P14 behind the 71. Larson's gone through, and he's going to be going after the 3 of Austin Dillon next as we go for a lunge up the inside and even get alongside Larson again, but we clear, most importantly, the 71. And as we come to a lap later, 2 to go in the stage, as we get back on the gas out of turn 1 again, we're going to lose the rear, save it, but as we get back on the throttle to get back going, the 71's to our left and more contact. And this race is just so fast going downhill, all from my own errors, and it's not very often I make this many mistakes on any type of road course racing. So that was just getting so frustrating because I knew we could easily be in the top 10 right now. And I mean, look at this mess still. We're still just as quickly back into the conversation because there's just so much stack up and chaos here that coming towards the final lap now. Gibbs cleared the 5. I go for another lunge up the inside of the 5 of Larson. Will clear him just about. No, not quite going to happen. He's going to fight back on the left side here. And you're going to have to be physical at this point now if we're going to make anything happen now, as we'll clear the 5, really forcefully take that position from him and move up into P13 as we come to the final lap of the stage now. And Gibbs defending. We're actually going to go around the outside of him. And now you got Austin Dillon. Suddenly, we've still got a chance to break into the top 10 here, as that 3 car is going to be a little bit off the pace. He is on older tires, and you can immediately see, unlike all the AI that drive away from us on a straightaway, we are now actually going to gain ground on him and we'll be side by side into the braking zone. But look at this mess up here. I mean, that's 9th, 8th, 7th, and 6th. That's held by Corey LaJoie right now, as we'll continue side by side. Clear the 3, and now we're going to have maybe one more opportunity here to maybe steal a spot from maybe the 17 of Chris Buescher, who's side by side with the 9 of Elliott. We'll peek the nose up the inside. I was kind of trying to single him out and put him in a bad spot so we could attack him here at the end of the sweeper, which is exactly what we're going to do. Austin Cindric's going to win the stage, by the way, as we've got contact with the 17, and now we're going to go spinning, and that's going to end stage number 2, and I completely embarrassed myself all stage long. Cautions out. We actually still score a stage point after driving like a moron, but we've got a lot of damage. 6% damage. That's going to cost us 3 seconds that we're going to have to pit. And actually, Christopher Bell apparently stole the stage win, actually, right at the last second. So the number 20 wins the stage, and Christopher Bell has yet to win a race this season. But one thing that did happen, you notice that Bubba Wallace is back leading. He actually pitted before the end of the stage and therefore stays out for stage 3. So as we go back racing, we're actually still in the top 15 or so, as we're going to go for another aggressive lunge. But Bubba immediately loses the lead to the 20 of Christopher Bell, as we're going to be 3 wide around the outside. And now it's like, okay, obviously Chicago hasn't quite gone how I had hoped. Let's just try to end this on a high note as we clear the 71 with a 3 wide move around the outside here, with Chastain looking to the right now. Austin Dillon just in front now. He's on equal tires, just like the 0-1 of Corey LaJoie is. Still don't expect the 0-1 for sure to be that fast now, as side by side there into the double right-hander. Not easy now, as we'll do a little bit of a switchback here on the number 1 of Chastain in the Kubota orange and black colors now, but he'll clear us down the short chute. But we're going to have an opportunity to kind of show the nose. Never mind, because the 3 breaks really early, so now we're just going to have to settle in, and actually a bit of contact there with the 1 of Chastain. Another big slide. This time we've got it under control, thank goodness now, as it's not even a 10-lap sprint. We got a little less than 10 to go here in stage number 3, as we have a big stack up now, as we'll go through the sweeper now, and the 1 and the 3 side by side. Chastain clear. Now I know I've got an opportunity to lunge one up the inside of the 3, and obviously going to try and do it a lot cleaner. A bit of contact there on the back of the 1. I was driving pretty frustrated at this point, as you can imagine, because, and it's not because of how anyone's driven me, I'm just frustrated about how I have driven now, as we'll go for a move around the outside of the 1 of Chastain. But I really wanted to be, top 5 by now, and we're 13th, as we're going to show the nose in turn 2 on Chastain, who's really stacked up, and I'm actually going to turn the number 1. I don't have any excuse at this point. I have been making an absolute fool out of myself here now, and, well, only thing we can do now is continue to go forward and say sorry to Ross Chastain, because he had to lift. He had to check up behind this guy, the number 0-1 of Corey LaJoie. And unfortunately, I mean, I just obviously ran out of patience and drove straight through him, as we'll go for that lunge up the inside of LaJoie and take that 11th position away. But obviously, making an absolute mockery of myself out here today as we come through to just 5 laps to go in this race. And now we're running P11. We've driven away from the cars behind because LaJoie's been holding them up after I passed him. And we're running down this next group of cars here now, which include the 45, the 17, the 54, the 19, as well as the 2, as the 20 of Bell has literally basically driven away from everybody, because everyone else is being held up right now by the 23 of Bubba Wallace. I think the only driver that's gotten through Bubba Wallace outside of the 20 is the number 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen. So it looks like it's going to be a 1-2 for those guys. Bell has not won a race yet this season. Looking to change that as we have run down the 45. Big slides there off the corner still now, as we've got the 45 in a good spot to line him up for that lunge here into the penultimate corner. And we're going to run him a little bit wide, but we'll take the position clear of the 45. And now that puts us back into the top 10, and then just a lap later here, right on the back now of the 17 of Chris Buescher, feeling like I can go for that exact same move. Obviously, the goal this time is to not put him in the wall and wreck myself, and we're going to have a little bit of contact there, maybe just a tiny bit, but we'll continue wheel to wheel. I gave him a lot more room this time around, and we'll actually clear him right here just about, and now clear on the exit of the final turn. So up into P9, and Ty Gibbs, coming to 2 to go, actually makes a move to the inside of his Joe Gibbs teammate there of Chase Briscoe, and now these two are going to get after it, but Gibbs would clear the 19 on the run here into the next turn. So now the 19 is going to be the next one we're looking at, and a move right here, catch him off guard to the left side of Briscoe, and he's actually going to cut me off with contact there into the right-hander, and then slams the brakes here on the run into the final turn. So I said, all right, this is how it's going to be played now. I've had a long, rough day. I'm not playing any games as we come towards the final lap of this race now. And now Buescher showed the nose. He backs out. We're P9 coming to the final lap of this race now, and still not quite done yet with this number 19. I'm going to make sure we beat this 19 of Chase Briscoe here with 1 lap to go on the run into turn number 1. Going to really use him up there, run him wide now, or push him wide, and even beat and bang a little bit there on our doors. We'll be wheel to wheel into turn 2, but I'm going to run him super shallow here into the corner to where he's basically forced to lift, and we go through into P8 now on this final lap. I said, let's just bring it home without any more dramas. Christopher Bell rounds the final turn, and for the first time in this season, he's finally going to win as we head through into these final couple of corners. I could have probably lunged up the inside of the 54, but like I said, I didn't want to make any more enemies than I already have. As we head towards this final turn. An embarrassment of a showing for myself here today, and we just got to focus on Sonoma and trying to go strong there now as we come through to the line. It will be an 8th place effort here from the Chicago Street Course. Thank goodness that one's over. Now as well, shout out to the car chief of the 20, that Hemi guy, picking up the victory here as well. So congratulations to them. Actually, the only member actually on the number 20 team, and that's Hemi guy's 5th win as a pit crew member of the channel. As you see the final results, and of course at the end of the episode we will have a points update. So next up, we're going to Sonoma. Qualifying in Sonoma for my second lap, which would actually be the fastest lap that you'll be seeing here in just a moment, but kind of expecting to end up where we were in Chicago Street Course, to be completely honest. Now is also, by the way, if you're still watching at this point in the video, I know it's public news by now. Creators are starting to talk about it, so I'll tell you guys for the ones that are still watching it, because I'm not like trying to tell everybody. But I will be in Daytona on Thursday, actually, through Sunday, I think it is. So I will actually be getting a hands-on opportunity to be playing NASCAR 26 and then be able to also ask some questions potentially for you guys. So just thought I'd let you guys know. There's also going to be no live streams on the channel if you watch that for that same reason, but I'll be able to come back and tell you guys, all about what I experienced in the game, what's great about it, maybe what's still lacking and whatnot, but I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time as we come through on this final lap of qualifying at this point now through this final hairpin. Even went a little bit wide there. You saw a little bend there, but no harm, no foul. We continue on, and as we head out of this final hairpin towards the start-finish line, it is going to be a decent lap with, of course, a goal of a 1:15.7. We put down a 1:14.1, so pretty happy with the lap overall, but at the end of qualifying, SVG's on pole position again, and we would end up in 21st, so actually a little bit worse than what we put down in Chicago, but I'm feeling a lot more confident about my overall ability to move through the field here in Sonoma compared to Chicago. So as we get ready to go racing here now, following today's episode, just 2 road courses remain on the season now, and Sonoma is the site where we picked up our first ever Xfinity Series win way back now. Heck, that had to have been like, I don't know, felt like December, maybe January. It's been quite a long time since we were full-time in the Xfinity Series. I can't wait to show a lot more love to those other series in the career mode in NASCAR 26, by the way, but nonetheless, here we go. Sonoma underway for the Toyota Save Mart 350 now in stage 1, 6 laps here. Now we are back on the 4X fuel and tire wear multiplier, so we will not see green flag pit stops, however, in stage 1 or 2, but stage 3, as long as it does stay green, that will be an option now, and likelihood is it will stay green as SVG gets out to the lead of this race. Now, so yeah, I mean, looking, throughout the rest of the race, like I said, likely it stays green. Main reason is we've only, I think, in the Cup Series, we've only ever had one caution come out that wasn't stage related on a road course, and that was actually last season at Watkins Glen, where there was a big crash. I think it was, if I remember correctly, the 19 at Briscoe and the 9 of Elliott getting together, but we're getting aggressive here on this opening lap. We're going to get the Penske duo of Blaney and Logano immediately re-enter the top 15 here behind the number 8 Cheddar Chevrolet RCR Camaro there of Kyle Busch, as we're coming through the final bits now of lap 1, but he's actually going to have a super slow and shallow entry into the bend, and well, I thought I would be able to get him around the outside, but instead it turned into an opportunity for Priest to go up my inside, but then I go firing back up the inside into the hairpin, and now we're going to at least clear Priest. We'll be side by side with Kyle Busch, and you'll always see the lack of straight line speed compared to the AI, like right here now, as I'm going to run that 8. Pretty shallow though through the kind of the bends here now, and he does kind of have to lift because that wall being right there, but we should be able to clear KB up the elevation here and through these first couple of corners. Not clear yet. Now we're clear, as I accidentally clear him, really just sliding across his nose now, as we'll go around the outside actually of the 48. And just like that, we're up to 13th place. So a great way to kick off this race. And like I said, I was a lot more confident about my race pace in Sonoma than I was in Chicago. And I think it's showing, because now lap 3, now for a lunge on the inside of the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. Got a little bit of right front damage on that call leg number 16 right there. But we'll go side by side, and through the S's we go. He backs out. We clear him up into P12. Now that, unfortunately, was as far as we would get, as SVG would win stage number 1, picking up a lot of points here to try and increase his hopes for making the chase. But as we come through out of the final turn to the line, it's going to be P12 as Ty Gibbs takes the final stage point and brings out the caution. But overall, good start to this race here now. As well, the 20 of Bell has been right up there. The 24 of Byron has been right up there. And those two guys are taking full advantage of the points here in both Chicago and Sonoma, as everyone will pit for 4 tires as well as some fuel. We did make a slight wedge adjustment. It went down 1 click as Kyle Larson drops 1 spot in the pit lane there to P8. And as SVG takes us back to the green flag, we're underway again from the Toyota Save Mart 350. This time we got 1 additional lap in stage 2 compared to 1. 7 laps of racing here in this middle stage now, as we alongside this 48 up the hill we go now. And we talked about Bell and Byron. They're really taking advantage of points in Chicago, and they're doing the same again here in Sonoma. Last season, of course, we saw those two guys being the ones that fought to the very end for the championship now, and we'll see if that's kind of the situation we see this season. Obviously, we're right up here in the championship conversation, and it's just going to be about consistency. That's what it's going to be all about now, as we're going to go for a lunge up the inside of the 5 of Kyle Larson. A little bit of beating and banging. 71 hits the brakes right in front of us, and that kills our momentum and allows the 54 and the 5 to clear. But now Gibbs a bit slow. We got Chastain to my left side. He'll clear me, and then I've got Kyle Busch trying to show the nose, but we stay in front of him. But overall, after all that mess right there, we went nowhere. We're still P12 as the round goes to 54. We stay green, I believe. He's off the racetrack now, but that was a big hit to the barriers, and he's actually going back in the right direction, and we move into P11 now. I'd be willing to bet that would have been a DNF in NASCAR 26 now. That was quite a big impact he was taking into those tire barriers, but now going around the outside here, lap 2 of the stage against the number 1 of Ross Chastain. Can we clear him? Should be pretty easy. Once we get right here, we can kind of cut the nose off there, and there we go, up into P10 now. And unfortunately, again, once things kind of settled down, that was pretty well the pace that we had, and I was really trying to reel in the 71, and it was happening. I was getting closer every lap, so I felt like there was still a chance I could maybe get up to 9th place here to finish off stage 2, but it wasn't going to come easy. I was really hustling this car around. As we come to lap 6 of 7, we do run down the 71, who's actually just kind of fallen off the back of the 5 and the 9 a little bit, and move up the inside. This is going to allow us to take the spot easily clear, actually, so we move up into P9, and that was as far as we were going to get here in the stage. Or is it? We got a crash coming to the white flag. Around goes the 45, the 9, and the 5 have to lift. Elliott gets through. Larson involved. We stay green again, and now, just like that, we're up at a P7. Thank you very much, as Shane Van Gisbergen will sweep the opening stages. And we're going to round this final hairpin. A very unexpected result of P7 after the 45 looped it around in that final hairpin. Now 2 wrecks right there in stage 2. Both, of course, remained under green flag conditions as we cross the line for 7th place. So picking up 4 points right there, which is going to be very beneficial to our day here in Sonoma.
Pit road is open. You want to make any changes here?
So we'll take 4 tires again, fill it up on gas, and get ready for the final stage, which we will not be able to make it to the end of. So if it stays green, like I said, like it has so far, we will have to come into the pits now as we get ready to go back racing. The 3rd and final stage is underway. It's been all Shane Van Gisbergen, but if it stays green, if we get green flag pit stops, I'll put money on SVG losing the races. The 45 takes my spot. We tried to sneak it up the inside, but we're sideways on the exit of the corner. The 45 stays ahead. Now we're 3 wide again right there as we'll back out of it now. The 71 and the 1, and we really lose out here on the opening lap of stage 3 due to that kind of slower start now, and through goes the 71 and the 1 of Chastain. Will try to go around the outside, and as this is all happening, the reason I think SVG is going to lose the race is because for whatever reason, it seems like just the more midfield a driver is, the game always gives them a worse strategy, and you'll probably see the same thing we've seen before. The 20 car is probably going to have the best strategy, and therefore he'll win the race because the 88 will stay out way too long and get fresher tires and have a pace advantage, but he will not be able to make any passes. That's why I think the 20 or the 24 is going to win this race now. And Bell, of course, picking up his first win on the season this episode, would love to go get a second win here to really set himself up well for the chase. Of course, will be coming up here in just a few more episodes at this point now, as we're going to really put some pressure on the 9 of Chase Elliott now. Try to go around the outside. We'll clear him for P8. Now the question is, do we have anything for that number 71 as we close right up to the back of him? The answer is yes. We're going to go for a move right here on lap 15 into the same corner that we made that pass last time in stage 2 on the 71, but actually overshot the corner. It does allow me to clear, but I had to get a little bit more physical than I had wanted to. Now as we come to lap 17, the pace was kind of leveled off. I wasn't really gaining anything. I wasn't really losing. But now I said, okay, how can I find a way to get some track position? The answer is pitting as soon as the pit window opens, which is going to be at the end of this lap right here. We get about 10 laps of fuel in a car. It says 11. It's more like 10. So we will be pitting at the end of this lap. We're going to pit with 10 to go, and then we hopefully will pit 2 laps, 3 laps, maybe even 4 laps earlier than a lot of drivers around us, and therefore we could maybe find ourselves, I don't know, 3rd or 4th on a perfect case scenario, more likely around 5th or so, which would still be better than P7. So we're going to come in, we'll get the tires, we'll get the fuel, and we'll get ready to go back on the racetrack. And what's going to be also very beneficial for us, a clear racetrack. So we can really just set lap time here over the next handful of laps and wait to see how this pit strategy plays out. But we're the first one to hit pit lane, and now it's all about setting perfect laps and just really consistent laps as we continue on. And pit lane was already active here on lap 20. So we are seeing some pit stops. We had already gotten our way up to 33rd after other drivers pitting. And as we round through the bend here again, we pass some more cars up to 22nd. There is right there, the 19 just exited. So the 19's in front of us, and I believe the 20 of Bell as well is in front of us. Yes, he is. I can see Bell from here. So Christopher Bell is already out of the pit lane, and the 88 is still on the racetrack in traffic. So that's exactly what I was talking about. They give SVG just a worse strategy always on road courses, as we're right on the back of a not a lap car, but off the pace car here, the number 40 of Allgaier here, and we're going to go around the outside of him as Briscoe just up the road. Who is this exiting the pits? That's the 45, so there's a position gain right there. I believe it's going to net out to a 5th or a 6th once this is all said and done. SVG would finally make his pit stop, by the way, and find himself no longer leading the race. It was now Christopher Bell, William Byron, SVG, Briscoe, and me, the top 5. So we got exactly what we were looking for. We got track position, and I mean, the only thing that would give us an opportunity now is a caution which I just don't see that happening. And we are losing time because we are on quite older tires than everybody else, and that's allowing Buescher and everybody else behind him to run me down. But we're coming to 3 laps to go. If it was earlier in the race, I'm not going to put up a big fight against these guys, but we're coming to 3 to go.
Right side.
We're going to fight this one pretty hard, and you can really, unless you are in just terrible shape on the tires, you can really hold these guys back if you just kind of, put yourself on the racing line, really. And that's exactly what I started doing in these final moments of this race, and just planting myself on the right line and not really having a slip up. Am I giving up time? Yes, but if I don't slip up, then we're going to be able to hold position, as the 17 was really pressuring me. We get such a good run through there, though. But we come to the final lap of racing, and my tires are destroyed, 10% on the left front, but we're continuing to just hang on, run the correct line, and keep these guys behind us now, as the number 20 of Christopher Bell is walking through the final corners to get the victory here from Sonoma. Now comes into today with no wins, and he's about to leave with 2 as he's looking to go back-to-back on the road courses. Now Shane Van Gisbergen, we know was the car to beat, but got dealt the cards of the bad strategy, and unfortunately the AI can't really pass on the road courses very well in any road course in the game, and hopefully that is fixed for NASCAR 26. But around the final turn goes the 20 of Bell. We just need to hold on for one more corner as well, but Christopher Bell is going to come through to win his 2nd race of the season, and it comes back-to-back now. Was behind us Buescher, under pressure from the 45, as I am so slow, but we get it off the corner, and we're going to bring it home for, I believe, our best ever Sonoma effort of 5th place here. We will gladly take that, and as well another win, of course, for that Hemi guy once again. So he goes from 4 wins to 6 here today and jumps up the leaderboard. So congratulations to that Hemi guy, the only guy on the team, of course, for the Joe Gibbs number 20 now, as you see the rest of your finishing order. Now as well, we'll take a look at the points, because it is pretty tight amongst the top 4 or 5 drivers. Now, as William Byron actually leads the points at 2 wins at 732 points over Kyle Larson by 22 points between those 2 drivers. Bell is back by 30. Then there's a bit of a gap to myself there after those rough races we had there in 4th, and then the 45 all the way through, Elliott, Briscoe, so on and so forth. But the battle for the chase is going to heat up between the 2 RFK drivers of Priest and Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Cindric. You can't write them off either, but there's still a lot of racing to go, and we'll see how it shapes up in the coming races before the chase. Thank you guys for watching, and have yourselves a great day.